Vulture everyone. Well, today is part 2 of making our Samhain bread, Barmbrack. And if you remember, part 1, we soaked our fruits in our whiskey and our tea. So these have been soaked. I was going to soak them originally for 6 hours, but then I just soaked them overnight. And what you do then is you drain them. So we drained. Now this is the whiskey tea mixture that came from the raisins. And we're going to keep this aside just in case we need to moisten our bread a little bit more. So here I got my flour and my dried ingredients. Now I made a recipe for 3 Barmbracks, but I will give the recipe in the description, okay, for 1 Barmbrack. So if you want to make 4 Barmbracks, 5 Barmbracks, whatever, just times the recipe that I give you by how many bracks you want to make. So I have all my flour and my dried ingredients. I have my brown sugar. I have my cinnamon. I have my cloves. I have my nutmeg. A little wee bit of salt and some baking powder. And like I said, I'll give you the measurements for 1 brack in the description. So what we're going to do then is we're going to mix all of this together dry. Okay? So we want to mix all our dried ingredients together first before we add it to our fruits. Okay, so let's get this mixed in real dry here. Real good. Get the baking powder, the sugar, the brown sugar, everything mixed in really well. And of course you can add spice, whatever you want in it. I just have a basic salt, baking powder, cinnamon, cloves, nutmeg mixture. Okay, well that's looking lovely. It's getting really incorporated up nicely. And you just want to mix all your dried ingredients first. Okay, so what let's do here is we're going to now what we're going to do is we're going to add, before we put the flour in, we're going to add our milk. So I have my milk here. I have 3 cups of milk because I'm making 3 bracks. So I'm just going to add my milk in. Okay. And then let's add our 3 eggs. Now let's give this a good toss. A good toss around. Now all these fruits have soaked up all the whiskey and all the tea and has flavored them well. Okay. So that looks pretty good for now. Now what we're going to do is we're going to slowly incorporate our flour mixture and our spices a wee bit at a time. Just a little at a time. A little at a time. Because you want to be able to incorporate it really well instead of dumping it all in at once. Because all at once it might be some clogs or some stuff there that you don't want. I mean, like that won't get dissolved. This way it gets dissolved very well. So if you pour a wee bit at a time. Now you're going to want it a thick batter. Okay, it's not going to be like a regular cake batter. This is going to be a thicker batter, because you're actually going to use your hands to push in the batter into your tins, whatever you want to bake them in. And you could bake these as bread loaves, you could bake them as cakes, you can bake them oh, excuse me, in circles. Whatever you want to do. But I go more for just the regular bread loaf look. It's easier to slice that way. It's easier to gift them that way to other people. Okay. Now see, right now it's basically at the consistency of cake batter, but that's not what we want. It has to be thick. Now see how this is forming? Okay, so this is the mixed dough, the mixed batter for our Samhain bread, our Samhain Barmbrack. And like I said, if you want to add a little more of the whiskey and the tea that came from the raisins, you can add them in a little bit if you want it to be a little bit more juicier, whatever. All right, this is part 2. We're getting there, folks. Stay tuned for part 3. Slán go fóill. Bye, bye, bye.